Shalom to the nation of Israel. This is Barazal coming in the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Akakwadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and to the whole for like pushing his word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. This lesson is going to be titled Hyperinflation and Famine. It's just going to be a quick one, but important one nonetheless. So let's just go into the word hyperinflation. If you go to Wikipedia. All right. So this is a definition that they have. In economics, hyperinflation is very high and typically accelerated inflation, right? It quickly erodes the real value of the local currency. As the prices of all goods increase, so that's funny, you see that happening right now. Prices of all goods are increasing, right? If you go to your grocery stores, if you notice, like the foods are slowly increasing, the gas is increasing, right? All the fees on everything are slowly increasing, right? This causes people to minimize their holdings in that currency as they usually switch to more stable foreign currencies such as the US dollar. Now, the whole joke is the US dollar is the main problem. So now you see people are switching to cryptocurrency, which is not stable because that's even less real, even though US dollar is not real. But cryptocurrency is not even real either, right? So like, you're stacking cards on top of feathers, you know. But measured in stable foreign currencies, prices typically remain stable, right? So they have a diagram. I'm not gonna read this too much because one of the apostles made a video on this. They really went in depth. But I just wanted to read certain things and then go into scriptures to back it up. Okay. Right here it says, unlike low inflation where the process of rising prices is protracted and not generally noticeable except by studying past market prices, hyperinflation sees a rapid and continuing increase in normal prices. Okay, so that's what's happening right now. If you're paying attention, the nominal cost of goods and of the supply of currency. Typically, however, the general price level rises even more rapidly than the money supply as people try ridding themselves of the devaluing currency as quickly as possible, which is what happened right now. People are trying to switch to cryptocurrency, right? As this happens, the real stock of money, i.e. the amount of circulating money divided by the price level, decreases considerably. Almost all hyperinflations have been caused by government budget deficits. So that's funny because during this whole, this worldwide event of this unknown toxin, right? It's caused a real strain on government's money, right? Because they have to make all these stimulus checks and stimulus packs and a lot of businesses went out of debt, and then you have the government trying to support these businesses that, with loans and all this stuff. Other people taking out loans because they can't work, right? It's causing a strain on the budget of the government, right? So almost all hyperinflations have been caused by government budget deficits financed by currency creation. So because of that, if you notice, they're producing more bills, more dollar bills or whatever of that currency of that country, right? That's backed by nothing. Hyperinflation is often associated with some stress to the government budget, such as wars. So we are dealing with a war. We're dealing with a war against this toxin. It's a war. Or their aftermath, right? And we're going to deal with the aftermath too. Because we're dealing with the aftermath right now. The war was like the first year. Now we're dealing with the aftermath of that war. So, socio-political upheavals, a collapse in aggregate supply or one in export prices. So another thing is that because of this war that we're dealing with, the aftermath is that the prices for shipping, right, has increased like 13-fold. It's a huge difference, like huge night and day difference, right? So if the prices on shipping shipping stuff across the world increases. Therefore, you're gonna lead to shortages, right? Supply chain shortages. And then you have the supply chains being backed off on top of it because these containers can't come in because they say that it has they're still affected by the toxin, right? So they get withheld back, right? So that leads to shortages, and then food storages or grocery stores start to become bare and empty, which is going to lead into the scriptures I'm going to go into, right? And that's it on that. I don't really need any more, so let's go into scriptures. Actually, let's go to Genesis 41, 34. Genesis 41:34. Let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint officers over the land, and take up the fifth part of the land of Egypt in the 7 plenteous years. Let me skip to the point. Actually, no, I'll keep reading. And let them gather all the food of those good years that come, and lay up corn under the hand of Pharaoh, and let them keep food in the cities. And that food shall be for store to the land against the 7 years of famine. Right? So during the time of Pharaoh, right, they built storehouses and gathered all the food because, there was a vision that Joseph had. Right? And he basically gave a vision that there's going to be 7 years of plenty of food, and 7 years of famine. So they gathered the food to prepare themselves for the 7 years of famine. During the 7 years of plenteous, right? So, I just want to skip to the point. Just lock. So we're going to jump to 53. Okay, verse 53. And the 7 years of plenteousness that was in the land of Egypt were ended, and the 7 years of dearth began to come, according as Joseph had said, his vision, right? And the dearth was in all the lands, but in all the land of Egypt there was bread, right? So in Egypt they had food, but everywhere else they had no food. So that's happening right now because the supply chains are happening, right? And only certain people, certain places are going to have food. It's going to be where the elite live. These rich people are going to live. And the grocery stores are going to be fine. They're going to have food, right? And there's going to be people that are going to have houses stored up with food because they're the doomsday preppers, so to speak. So during these times, people are not going to have food. So it's going to cause them to be hungry. And when you get hungry, you do things that you don't want to do because, especially these people are not used to going through days without eating, right? They go for an hour without eating and they start bugging out. So you're telling them they're not going to have a day of not eating, a week of not eating, they're going to go crazy, right? So now we're going to go to 2 Kings. And this is all because of what I read about earlier, the hyperinflation, this toxin, right? The maxing waters that's plaguing the earth. It's all leading to this. Because when this famine hits, people are going to go crazy, right? Because they won't be able to buy anything, right? Because of the famine, because like I just read about the hyperinflation, what it does with the currency. So things are going to be very expensive. So that's part of the famine too, right? You're not going to be able to afford food on top of it because they might have the food too in grocery stores, but it's going to be so expensive that you can't buy it. Right, so it's just gonna be madness. People are gonna be going to stealing. People are gonna be dying of famine, of hunger. People are gonna be robbing into other people's homes, taking what they have. Right, cannibalism's coming back. So we got 2 Kings. Okay, right here, 2 Kings 6:24. And it came to pass after this that Ben-Hadad, king of Syria, gathered all his hosts and went up and besieged Samaria. So besieged is when he surrounded it, right? And that's the same thing that's happening with on the ports with these shipping containers. They're just storing them up because they said they can't be let through because of maybe like on one of the ships someone had the Maxine waters, right? So basically all the stuff is contaminated, so they have to keep it on the ports, right? So then while it's on the ports, they're building up like I believe they're building walls around it to protect it, to guard it from everyone else. So that's a siege, right? Because they're surrounding them. They're surrounding the cities, right? And when you siege a city, you cut off their food supply. You cut off their food line. That's the first thing you go for. Because if you take out their food line, all you have to do is wait for them to starve. Either they're going to have to come out of hunger and try and fight, and they're going to be weak, or just die off, right? Because of no food. So that's what happened here in Samaria. Verse 25, and there was a great famine in Samaria, and behold, they besieged it. Right? So let's go in the word besieged real quick.
Strong's H, 6696. Sur.
Sur. To bind, besiege, confine, cramp, to confine, secure, to shut in, to shut up. So yeah, to shut the people in, right? They surrounded them to shut the people in. They cut off their food supply. Enclose, to show hostility, to be an adversary, treat as foe, right? So then we're going to go back. Okay, verse 25, and there was a great famine in Samaria, and behold, they besieged it until an ass head was sold for 80 pieces of silver. So that's what's going to happen right now. That's what is going to happen, right? Because they're going to cut off the food supply, which is what they're doing right now. So eventually, all the foods that they have right now that are being stored in these grocery stores, the prices are going to go up because of hyperinflation, right? So it's either you're going to have the money to buy these foods, and even the foods that they have, they're not going to have a lot. So it's going to be very expensive because they're low in supply, right? So it's going to be very expensive. So it's either you have the money to buy it or you don't, right? And if you don't have the money to buy it, you're going to try and steal it. But now I actually watched a video. Some man, an Edomite, he looks like an Edomite, but he's basically posting that they're building these new doors, right? In these grocery stores where you actually, it's like a steel case door, like it's heavy steel, and you have to have a barcode to open it, right? Whether you scan on your forehead or your wrist, right? If you don't have that barcode or that chip, which is the RFID chip, which is the MOTB, you can't open the door. So if you have it, you can open the door and get the food or water, what's inside that door. But if you don't have it, you're not getting anything. So they're already setting up for the next move, which is the next move is the mark of the beast, MOTB. So if you don't get that chip, you're not going to eat, right? That's why the scriptures read. Let's jump to it right now. And if I can find that video, I might just make another part 2 to this video and have that and keep talking about this because this is very important because it's happening. They're already building this in grocery stores. I didn't even know about that until I saw that video. One of the brothers in the camp posted in the group chat. Just don't remember where. I have to go look for that. Revelation 13:16, and he caused all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. So this machine, this door that man was filming, basically you literally had to scan your forehead or your wrist, like your right hand, to open it, to get the food or water that's inside. I was like, wow. Right? So we're almost out of here. But then, like they said, this is all leading up to the MOTB. Right? Right here you can see they besieged it until an ass's head was sold for 80 pieces of silver, and the fourth part of a cab of dove's dung for 5 pieces of silver. So this is a lot of money. Silver, back then, that was a lot of money. And they sold a donkey's head, right? And then a cab of dove's dung. That's shit. Selling it for money to eat, right? So then we're also now going to jump. I also mentioned cannibalism. So, okay, verse 28. And they came and said unto her, What aileth thee? And she answered, This woman said unto me, Give thy son that we may eat him today. So these people are like talking about they're eating their kids. They're just like, it's just what makes sense for them. It's the next step because they can't eat. They're hungry. So now they're going to eat their children. So this is going to happen too. It's all going to come to play, right? What the scriptures read, there's nothing new under the sun, roughly paraphrasing, right? So the verse 29, so we boiled my son and did eat him. And I said unto her on the next day, Give thy son that we may eat him. And she had hid her son. So the point is that they're eating kids and they're just talking so casually about it, right? These are women doing this. So women are going to be eating their children. Right? So we go to Jeremiah 19. This is the last one. 19 and 9. And I'll cause them to eat the flesh of their sons and the flesh of their daughters, and they shall eat every one the flesh of his friend in the siege and straitness. That's happening right now. Right? It's happening right now. And it's just going to get worse and worse. Then people are going to realize that they're in a siege. Right? They haven't even realized yet because there's still food in grocery stores. Right? The prices are not too bad yet. Not too bad. In some places they are bad, but not enough for people to be panicking all over the country, all over the world, especially in Babylon, which is America. Wherewith their enemies and they that seek their lives shall straighten them, right? So the point is that, a famine is coming. Famine of the word's coming, but famine of bread is also coming. And if you are not close with Yahweh Shem Shai, you're gonna get fucked. You can get fucked up. Right? Anyways, I hope this was edifying to the hopeful elect to keep clinging onto Yahweh Shem Shai, keep praying, keep doing the right thing, because at the end of the day, no one knows who the elect are. That's what we're called, the hopeful elect. So don't be prideful in thinking that you're gonna make it. Right? Because you still have to the scripture read, you have to endure to the end. Until the end. So you have to keep going until the end. Right? Like I said, I hope this lesson was edifying to the hopeful elect. Double honors and double blessings to the apostles of Great Millstone. And to the hopeful elect that's pushing that word and truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. Death to this wicked kingdom. Kwam Yasharallah. Abad Babal. Until next time, Shalom.